say that now.
I just want to let the record show that I am Black, I am female, and I am on time. Actually, I'm early.
That's what he said. Black culture, gay culture, stoner culture, music culture, and everything in between. Welcome to All About Lumberjack Tea, where I discuss a weekly topic per month, dealing with the intricacies of Black culture, the importance of gay/SGL culture, the elusiveness of stoner culture, and the wholeness of music culture, as it pertains to me, Lumberjack T, chopping down hatred and the conspiracy. And you know boy.
Hello, I am Quaylen. I'm a pianist, singer, and vibe curator. And you are listening to All About Lumberjack Tea, now playing on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
It's the vibe for me.
You want to just go? Let's just do this.
Listen, this your show, so I take direction here. I'm the family. You Kirk Franklin.
Period. This is, first of all, let me just say something real quick. I like to give this particular context just because I think it's really neat. I've already recorded a few podcast episodes, and so obviously I'm not doing this in any particular order, but this is, I would say, my third recorded episode, but this will air as my very first introductory episode. And so what that basically means is, hold on, child. Oh my God. You know what I just forgot?
What?
In Oklahoma, and you can't hear it, but in Oklahoma, because we deal with tornadoes and shit, there's a thing that happens from 12 o'clock to 12:03 where these tornado alarms come on.
And listen,
so as long as you can,
I know it's like it's a warning.
And can you hear it? You probably can't even hear it.
I can't hear it.
Okay. So moving on, this is my introductory episode. And so what I do as a tradition is I start every season with just something that is more off the cuff, something that's more, I wouldn't say improv based, but definitely something that's more fluid. And it's really just more of a narrative. The first one I did, I was talking about my ex because he needed to be talked about. And then the second season, bad. And then real bad, as Carisha would say. And then the second season, I was talking with my homegirl, Steph Plant. And she's an amazing new age singer-songwriter, healer. We just talked about bringing in the new year. And because I decided to go into more of a video mode, I was like, well, you know what? I know somebody that I know right off the rip I'm trying to talk to. So I want to introduce. So first of all, if you are one of the children, if you are one of the girls, if you know the tea, if you are, and if you love Whitney, let me just say it like this: if you love Whitney Houston, you know who this woman is. Period. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. If you know who Whitney Houston is, and if you are a fan of Whitney Houston is, you already know who this woman is. So gag. But if you don't, and I'm not gonna shade you like living under a rock and using all that language, but if you don't know who this woman is, let me just say, this is an entrepreneur. She is a journalist. She is a Black woman. I mean, I should have said that first. Like that's the title of titles. Let's just keep it real. Interviewer, author. Okay, can you? Are we back now?
Yes. Oh look, gosh. You know you're gonna have to edit.
Okay. Oh! Ain't I? Ladies and gentlemen, everybody in between. I'd like to present to you all for my introductory episode to my podcast, Miss Quencie Thomas. founder of Studio Q and all things Whitney. Welcome to my show, girl. Welcome,
Thank
welcome,
you.
welcome.
Thank you. Woo! I'm so happy to be invited. For real. Like, you are an energy
Thank you.
within yourself. And so I'm so glad that our paths cross on the internet, webs.
Yes, yes, yes. My thing is, and I've said this to you before, and it's been posted indefinitely on Oprah Winfrey's internet. If it was not for your forum, I'm gonna give you and the government later. By the way, I'm gonna give that to you, just not now. Okay.
Thank you, because I'm going to need to breathe throughout this conversation. Because the way I hollered, okay. Yeah. There's some jokes that you only think that you have in your brain, and then somebody utters it out loud. And mind blown. Still laughing. Continue.
Anyway, we'll get to that. But this wonderful woman has created a forum where she basically has cataloged all of her interviews. She still does them with lots of people. I was so honored for you to be able to for me to be able to watch your interview with homegirl from Grays. What's her name?
Janora.
You just talked to Janora.
Janora McDuffie.
Beautiful. Janora McDuffie. As soon as I saw her, I was like, I know who that lady is. She's trying to take Meredith's black baby from her.
Yes.
As soon as I saw her, I was like, how does Quencie know her? She's trying to take Meredith's baby from her.
She did, right? That was, and look, that's when we all were watching Grey's Anatomy. That's when everybody was watching.
True tea. I'll say this real quick. When I started watching Grey's, it was binging, and it was like maybe 6 years ago. So I binged the first 12 seasons, and I've been hooked. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't watching it so much when it was airing. Obviously,
yeah,
I wasn't. I didn't know nothing about them kind of situations and fine ass Isaiah Washington. But anyway, we're not going there. We're not going there. Before we get started, before we get into the mess of messes, can you just do my audience a favor, and if you wouldn't mind, if you would be kind, just to give us sort of a brief background as to where you're from, what sort of started you towards this journey, towards this your form of journalism. Tell us about yourself, girl. What's tea?
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in a small town, Springfield, Illinois. It's actually the capital of Illinois. You know, you would want it to be Chicago, but it ain't. It's Springfield, Illinois is the capital.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
I went to college hours away from Springfield in a city called Greenville, Illinois.
Really?
Like,
what was the college
maybe
name?
40 minutes. Greenville College.
What?
Right out. Right up the street. We would pass by that gaudy cross all the time. Like, I would be like, oh my gosh, look at this big old cross in the middle of nowhere, child. But anyway.
So the place where I'm from is only famous for two things. One, Abraham Lincoln used to live here. So you got Abraham Lincoln's home and library and all that. And Barack Obama launched his presidential campaign from the Capitol building downtown. So that's a long in between 1800s to 2008. So I just say all that to say is it's small, very white, very Republican. So I didn't have any black teachers from K to 12. I did have two music teachers that I met twice a week in elementary, but I just some kind of way that don't count to me, because it was twice a week. It was once in the third grade. And, so I really didn't have any black teachers from K to 12, didn't have any black radio. Wow. Only saw black artists via the television. So no sound of blackness, only watching.
Really?
Yes. So MTV, BET were paramount in terms of entertainment for me. And I think that's what created a void of me wanting to interview black excellence, because I was deprived
Mm-hmm.
of it. So I went to a historical Black college, Clark Atlanta University, and hey, what? And because I was around so many white people, aside from
Period.
yes, because I was around so many white people, and can I just say I had a ball in the white world as well. I was a fly in a buttermilk, but I made connections and had a good time. But still, it was a culture
Speak
shock.
your truth.
It
I know
was a
that's
culture
right.
shock to go to an all Black college and have all these Black people be here and me not be related to them. You know what I'm saying? I was like, y'all are straight.
Yes, I do.
It was a culture shock for me. And you would
I
think,
know exactly what you mean.
okay, and so being in Atlanta,
Totally.
not just at a Black college, but also in a Black town, a Black city. I just filled myself up with all things Black in terms of entertainment, music. And because I was in a city and on a college, I got to not just watch it on TV. Felicia Rashad was going to be speaking in Davidge Auditorium. So guess what? I'm about to skip class and go listen to what Claire Huxtable got to say. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to ask her a question and meet her. So those are the things that my experience in Atlanta, being a student and being devoid of everything from K through 12 of Blackness provided for me. So that's where I would say my style of journalism came from.
Let me just say this real quick, and before I ask that, just politically speaking, what are your pronouns? What do you prefer to be referred as?
She, her, Q.
Period. Okay. Here's what I want to say. We had the complete opposite experience. I mean, obviously we did, but as far as our demographic, I grew up in a K through 12 entirely Black school district on the east side of Oklahoma City.
Wow.
Negro Central, Millwood Public Schools, baby. And it's one of the top schools in our city now.
Wow.
But then I went to Greenville, cornfields and cow shit, being labeled a PK because I was from the church, but like all these different labels that I was learning to, either define myself by or not. I just think it's really interesting that we had the exact opposite. I mean, I went to an entirely all white, private Christian college.
Wow.
Like right up the street from St. Louis.
Wow.
And yet, so I guess one of my questions, I guess, could be, how were you able to? We always talk about how Black culture isn't monolithic. How were you able to? Right? And it's always for me such a double speak, because we always want to be the first. We always rather take so much umbrage in being the first Black or the first this to do it, but we pride ourselves on not being monolithic, and yet there is such a indigenous, I guess, and centralized way of understanding Blackness. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So how were you able to navigate knowing that there was not a way to be Black, but there was a connection in your experience for all Blackness?
Come on now with the question. Come on now.
Anyway.
Come on with the layers. Okay? It's not yes or no, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's great, because like a lot of the people I went to college with freshman year, like a lot of those people, they had come from the same background that you did. So they were very comfortable and familiar with Black world, Wakanda. They like this, this why they there. But you know what I'm saying? Not me. So there were a lot of things that I didn't do that the group did. And the group meaning most.
Like what?
Like saying, "What's up, nigga?" Because I was around.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes I totally empathize. Totally.
Yeah, because growing up Black, my family didn't use the N-word a lot. And then by being a fly in a buttermilk in the white school system, I dang sure ain't saying that. But when I got in Atlanta, It was a verb, a noun, an adjective.
Period.
It was first semester, they call even women bitch and hoe, like that was part of their vocabulary. I didn't call.
That's one thing I've noticed about you, though. That's one thing I've noticed about you. You and you don't judge people, especially when you're on your forum, and we do all our stuff as a family on like Whitney Wednesdays and the other things. You don't use any. Very rarely do I hear you use any what we call curse or profane language. And I've always sort of asked myself, as a Black person, it's almost like a badge of honor to be able to twist that language into language that does not offend the community. Or trying to find ways to, but you don't. I noticed that.
And it's crazy because my mom curses like a sailor. I used to curse like a sailor. And even though I never called anybody my first semester the N-word, everybody was a nigga after second semester because I got acclimated. I remember coming back home. And one of my friends who I went to high school with, she was like, "Oh, Quencie, I've never heard you use that word before." I was like, "Girl, I've been indoctrinated."
Hey, was she taken aback?
She was Black because she was like, "Quencie," and I was like, "Girl, we all fall short of the glory." I didn't be, because.
What as a Black person, we have these religious backgrounds. What is yours?
Baptist.
What is it?
I would say Baptist. Okay. Christian Baptist. Like my grandma, my great grandparents, they went to church every Sunday. My mom grew up in the church because my mom grew up having to go to church. She made it an option for her children. It wasn't you have to go. It's if you want to go, I'll support that. And if you want to read the Bible, there it is. But it wasn't like you have
right.
So it wasn't because she was forced to, and she didn't want to create that same type of situation for us. So we had the freedom to go or not go.
That's really what's up. That's so crazy. Listening to your story thus far, it's just been a complete inverse because we were, honey, I was Church of God in Christ, Pentecostal holiness.
Wow.
Like throwing water on folks, throwing blankets on folks, tarrying for hours in prayer, eating the blood in the body, the efficacy of the tongues.
Tambourine?
Oh, and honey, I'm a tambourine player.
No, you're not.
Okay?
If we ever meet, you gotta tell me. Yes.
Don't play.
Wow. So
don't play. But I
grew up religious.
Very much so. And then, obviously, we all fall short of sometimes falling short is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Because when you fall short, you catch yourself.
Thank you.
That's another thing.
That's another thing. You remember that you're human. How about that?
Sometimes the journey is home. Sometimes recognizing your humanity is divinity in and of itself.
Come on.
Gag on that. Let's talk about, okay, so you are a Negro. We've established that. In preparing for this the way I do, and because you have been so gracious as a sort of what I'm considering the term neo-journalist in a way, you've had the ability to sort of catalog and document your journey throughout all these, throughout this life of yours with all the people that you've met. And what shocked me, let me give you some history. What shocked me is, so I didn't realize that I consider myself to be very knowledgeable as a man of color who also is a part of the sort of queer community, if you will, but I had never watched Jackie's Back.
Hey, Jackie! What are you doing back here? Don't tell me it's Jackie Washington Day here already.
Cadillac Johnson, you just keep on moving now. These are my crew people. They making a movie about me. I'm making a comeback, you know.
And I didn't realize how much of a I know, and I know, and I'm being recorded now saying that. But we had a we had a very short day yesterday, and I was able to get paid watching Jackie's Back at work. Okay. And I was like, oh, this is such a great movie. I see where it comes from. All of these gays, all this stuff comes from this music. As a matter of fact, you cannot attribute anything black and gay unless you know that movie. I just realized it. I was like, okay, so Jennifer Lewis really is that girl. She really is that girl. She's the girl of girls.
Yeah.
She's the girl of girls in Hollywood. And then I was like, hey, let me go and see what else Jennifer Lewis has done. As soon as I went on YouTube, I saw you sitting at her piano, her telling you not to sing.
Which was a good thing.
In these streets, sing, children. I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets. Hey! I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets. Cause ain't nobody got time for that. Hey! Ain't nobody got time for that. Hey! Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Hey! Yeah! Help me, somebody help me. Don't do one more. I'll tell you what, why don't you just do the ha-ha? No, I'm serious.
I love it.
I want you to do, come here. I want you to do sing, children, and all that stuff.
Okay.
And so it's, I don't want nobody fucking with me in the streets, and you go sing, children, and then we'll go in.
Okay. Yeah, because y'all can
And
sing.
then you go, ha ha ha. You do all the accoutrement. She will do the accoutrement.
Demoted. I got demoted.
It was so horrible. I'm sorry. It's just horrible.
Because I'm all in her ear, too.
Oh, and it's just horrible. Even I can't find my name. Ooh, some scary shit.
Oh,
Yes. Why are you being like that?
she don't know how to be.
She said, baby, you just give me. She said, you just give me oohs and ahs. You give me the embellishments.
Look, she left me with one ad lib. Yes. Yes.
Tell me, real quick, tell me, if you can right off the cuff, specifically black and female, if you can, who are some of the, obviously Whitney, but like who are some of the women that you have been able to find the grace in being able to interview and sit down and talk with them? Like who, how do you approach that? Like, who are these women? Who are these people that you have helped? Not,
You got another layer?
Well, so many layers, right? I guess my whole question is, I'm certain that there were black women that you had to see that propelled you to want to be a part of documenting their journey.
Mm-hmm.
Who are those women?
That's a very good question. I mean, Jennifer Lewis was one of them,
Thanks.
and of course, and not just because she's a black female actress, but also like it was a challenge because Jennifer Lewis is a one-woman show. Okay, she don't need nobody to interview her.
She's the all of all. She
does,
really is.
Yeah,
She's
you
the
could,
all
you
of
could just
all.
throw out a topic and she could just do the whole interview and you just sit there and take it in. So for me to be able to do the research enough to take away what I already knew that she may say, so I took away her sound bites. I took away that to get to some things that I never heard before. So Jennifer Lewis, I walked up. I know Sheila E. is not all, she's Latin, but she's still Sheila E.
No, she's a Negro.
She's a Negro. Thank you.
We claim her.
Oakland, okay.
I claim her. She's in my workout mix every day. I listen to her version of America by Prince every day.
Wow.
Every day.
So what I
She's my
loved
girl.
about her is I went to a Rochelle Farrell concert, and and Sheila E. was there, and I walked up to Sheila E. and asked her for a photo, but not just a photo. I asked her for an interview. And that was my very first podcast interview, was with Sheila E., because she kept her word. She just didn't say yes. She kept her word. Because, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, I'll do that. But then when it's time to do it, you can't find them or you don't get it done. But she was one. So Sheila E., Martha Wash, I got to interview her. Somebody had reached out to me from Martha Wash, but I literally, she's historic, Martha Wash with Sylvester.
Everybody dance now?
Everybody dance now. Yes.
Wash?
You can hit that note.
Everybody dance now. Yes. Yup. Shirley Ralph, I've interviewed her. Loretta Devine.
I've seen that.
Yes. Kimberly Elise, Layla Hathaway. Layla Hathaway was one of my first interviews in 2012 when I started doing Studio Q in LA, and I met her in Leimert Park. She had just finished a video shoot, and
okay, Leimert.
Oh, that Leimert, the black part. But who else is right? It's very black.
For real.
Little Mama, MC Light. There's just so many people what I just love is that I get to talk to them, not just for, because I don't like sound bites. I mean, I like them and I post them, but I like having full conversations. So the fact that I could talk to them for longer than 10 minutes, 15, you get what I'm saying? And get to ask them real questions about them. So those are the people I can think off the top of my head.
I appreciate you answering that. I asked it specifically because, how do I say this? We both experienced a lot of similar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm saying, and especially as it pertains to how Black culture was perpetuated, I would say from the 70s to the 90s, there was a distinct Black voice. There was a distinct Blackness. There was something. It's not even about relevancy. We didn't feed off of the narratives of caring about Elvis Presley taking our stuff. We were satisfied with knowing that we were the purveyors of culture. Now, everybody's just trying to replicate, not even being talented, but just replicate being successful. Shout out to AI. You know what I'm saying? It's manifesting in that kind of way. You are the only person that I'm seeing doing what you're doing. So before we get into a lot more of the meat and potatoes about Studio Q and stuff, I guess my next question is, how does it feel knowing in a very real way that, because I see you as sort of like a little Richard. No shade. No shade at all.
Explain.
Well, you are the innovator. You you need to explain yourself. What are you talking about? You are not nearly as egoically driven to let people know. So I guess I'm answering the question already, but how does it feel knowing that you are the only person doing this type of culture-based media in this way? How does it feel knowing that? Because I guess in a lot of ways it could feel kind of lonely, but I also know that in a lot of ways it could feel sort of trailblazing. How does it feel to know that you really are the only person, who, for example, is, and we've talked about this on Whitney Wednesdays. You are really the only person who is sort of in a lot of ways, and albeit sort of virtually, but you are the only person really perpetuating the true essence of Whitney as an individual, not as a brand, not as a. How does it feel knowing that you are doing that by yourself and creating a community on your own?
Wow,
because you are. So how does it feel?
Wow, well, first of all, thank you for feeling that because you participated in that. So I know it's genuine. So I appreciate that. As far as you doing, thank you, Lumberjack. I remember way back when you came through and your mom was sick. That's, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm online.
Still sick.
Listen, I'm talking about she better. we don't ask.
She is praise. Peace be upon her.
Always.
Y'all prayed for my mama, and here she sits.
Yes, always and forever. But like, I don't feel like I'm the only one doing this because I don't be looking around. I don't look to the left or to look to the right. And if I do, I kind of just block it out and zone in on me. As for Whitney, I don't like, even with Whitney, like there's a bunch of Whitney pages and Whitney fans as young as 15, 16 years old. So I don't feel like I'm the only one doing the interviews that I do. And I don't feel like I'm the only one that's honoring Whitney. But I am happy that I'm doing any of it and I'm doing it my way because I'm not connected to somebody who's booking my interviews. Like every interview that you've seen I do is because of me.
It's not corp based and funded.
Yeah, it's not I work for Extra and they said you get to interview Queen Latifah and we've taken care of everything. No, I'm literally either sending a cold email to a manager, a PR person. I'm walking up to somebody, maybe once in a green moon, somebody's reaching out to me. So like, that makes me feel proud that I've been able to accumulate all of this content with all of these people who I was so far away from with just me and my booking agent guide. Like really, that part is amazing, As far as Whitney goes, it didn't start off like that. Like it started off with just me loving Whitney by myself, very lonely journey. But I say lonely because I want people to understand it was just me, but I was having a good time.
Yeah.
But
I get it.
Yeah.
It was a singular vision that you were the captain of.
Yes.
So that's a solo thing.
And like, my family wasn't interested. My friends weren't interested. I mean, they might like Whitney, but not like me. But I didn't require members. I just required me and my love. So after I met Whitney on Fanatic and I got on the internet, because I was just finishing up grad school during that time, I was like, oh, there's millions of us out here. I thought I was the number one. No, they got websites and I was like, oh, so it humbled me that I wasn't what I thought I was, but there were others just like me. As far as being online, literally my connection with people online literally came within the last couple of years, if you believe it or not. I did do the fan documentary.
Post-COVID?
COVID, like 2021, because COVID was still out there. You know what I'm saying? So I started celebrating Whitney's birthday online on Instagram and Facebook starting in 2021. I did the fan documentary in 2013, but I just did the documentary.
Which is so good. I watched it at the job the other day. It's so good, girl. You did a good job. You did an amazing job.
I prayed that people would feel that way because I really didn't know what I was doing. So I prayed.
It was beautiful, Miss Quencie. It was beautiful.
I love that you feel that way.
It was beautiful.
So I did that. It was only for the people who supported the Kickstarter. So it came on DVD. Then in 2016, I put it on YouTube. But that was it. Like I even had people running my For the Love of Whitney Facebook page because I was like, I'm not about to be posting pictures. And like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that to love Whitney.
Right, I get it.
You don't have to do that.
Right.
You don't. And if you already want to do it, I'm gonna let you do it. But if you're either going to be the leader or follower of something. So because I created it, I needed to be the leader. So I had to take the reins back and do it. And it's grown. Like, I can't believe it. But as far as community, because even with my interviews, I would do it, Lumberjack, and then be gone. I wouldn't stay to see who watched it, what they thought about it. So I didn't have a community. I just had to work. So I said, you know what? I need to create a community. And the only way that I could do that is to connect with people. And the only way I could connect with people is to show up. And the only way that's going to resonate is if I show up consistently. So that's what I started doing. The reason I created Whitney Wednesday is because a lot of people knew me because my Whitney Houston moment is my most famous moment. And so people would continue to ask me questions about Whitney.
And I grew up, can I just say real quick, I grew up watching you. I grew up watching you, though. I grew up watching that. So, like, I didn't even connect that you doing Whitney Wednesdays were that girl. I was like, wait a minute. That's the same chick.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm so verklempt. Oh.
love.
Give you much love. Oh, got it, darling.
During the interview, she made me feel so comfortable. In television, anybody know in television, if they see this means to wrap it up. Well, when I was sitting with Whitney, I could see at the corner of my eye one of the producers doing that. And I immediately was like, oh my God, Whitney, I am so sorry for taking so much of your time. She was like, you are fine. You just sit right there. And she gave like one of her Whitney looks, you know, like, excuse me, to somebody. And immediately all the pressure went away.
I'm just saying that you really elevated my confidence level as being a black woman.
I'm so glad.
You know, because you are doing things and you are doing them well.
Thank you, baby.
You know, and I want to just
appreciate you.
Oh,
I
thank
do.
you.
I appreciate you.
Oh,
Love you, darling. You are the best. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for
Thanks
being
for letting
here.
me know you.
And then you pulled out the video. I was like, oh, wait a minute. No, because you got to understand that particular moment was the moment that I fell in love with her as a person, because she allowed you I hate to break it down this way, but the word Fran, that whole scenario was so eye-opening for me, because it was the same exact principle that Jennifer freaking Lewis was trying to convey when she said recently that I knew that I was a star when I recognized that everybody else was. It was the same energy. I was like, oh, so this is how Whitney's celebrity truly manifests in showing empathy in a radical way to a person who she don't even, I mean, like it. And then come to find, I mean, I've done the research. I've seen all the pics of you and this woman. Y'all was friends. Okay? So I don't care. Like, I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. It's what I see.
Well,
okay?
I just didn't want in her memory, because she didn't know me. I met her once before that, but this is the first time that she met me. And so the name of the show would have probably stayed with her forever, but I didn't want her to associate the word fanatic with me. So I had to say Fran,
period,
so that you could forget me, but you will remember Fran, that she don't want to be fanatic. She want to be Fran. And Whitney, every time she saw me, she was like, it's my friend, you know? So it did what I wanted it to do. Whether it was real or not, that's what I wanted to accomplish. And
that's exactly my point.
Yes.
You affirmed yourself, and she saw the strength and majesty in that, and it matched yours. Period.
Wow.
Period. I'm gonna tell you something, and I know that this, and maybe this is me being a Fran of sorts, but one of the things that I am able to watch and view, and I always watch it, and I will watch it over and over again, is the moment that she's with her daughter and you guys are at the red carpet event, and she sees you. Trust and believe, when I see that moment, I don't need emotion. Hold on. Whew. It's just like, it was like she didn't have to be nobody but herself in that embrace. She didn't have to be nobody but herself. And she was with her child.
Yeah.
And she was with her child. So it's a statement being made publicly that out of all the people that The Voice, no shade, out of all the people that The Voice could be attending to in this moment, it was your ass. So what I'm saying is, yeah, girl, gag. That's all I'm gonna say. That's what I remember her for. The Preacher's Wife is bomb. The Waiting to Exhale is the bomb. Cinderella is the bomb. The music is the bomb. The celebrity is the bomb. But as I've said before on your forum, I live for that. I live for those moments where you can break the facade in public and be like, oh, that's my homegirl. And we about to kick it for like 30 seconds until I get to my seat.
Yes.
Okay?
And look.
Period.
Grateful me. Listen, grateful for 2 of them 30 seconds, okay? Grateful for the fact that she knew who I was. Listen, grateful for the embrace. Because there's a whole bunch of people who would have loved to hug her 2 days before she had passed.
Another thing that I'm gonna go back to the questions. Another thing I love is that interview snippet that you just recently posted with Omarosa. I fell in love with her. I fell in love with her. I was like, oh, so she really is one of the girls. She really gets it. She's like, I'm going to my seat. I'm not wearing these heels. Are not to be there to be seen.
Right.
You got 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Anyway.
Yes. Look, she made me reassess the whole situation because that was my first red carpet. So she made me reassess my whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, that was the same red carpet that Whitney was on. That same night.
That's the same. Yeah. Okay. I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me ask you something real quick. Totally kind of off the topic, but just going back to your experience at Clark Atlanta, I have always been a fan of specifically what Debbie Allen was able to do the last five. No shade. The last 5 seasons
Come on,
of A Different World.
Yeah.
Because we all know that first one.
The ones that we watched and connected to.
Okay?
Yeah.
But anyway, how accurate was Blackness being portrayed in that show during that time? Because that was formative for me, but you were experiencing it, like you were living it. How this is totally just like a personal question to be honest. How was Blackness being portrayed for you in a cogent and sort of like authentic way? Because the thing is, A Different World needs to be on TV now. It needs to be on TV now. It needs to be on TV.
Yes.
We need a reboot. We need a Bel Air like treatment or something. But it needs to be on TV now. And I feel like Debbie Allen hears it all the time. I tell her at least once a week. You need to. Thank you for Grace, girl. But where is Dwayne Whitley's child? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here?
Wouldn't it be cool if all of their kids went there? Yeah, that would be dope.
Well, I feel like it would be tight. But how do you feel the authenticity of what was being described from Burbank? You know what I'm saying? Being sort of like lived in your experience.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it wasn't the same experience.
No. But because she based her thing off of Howard. So the only thing that I didn't experience that was reflected on A Different World until junior year because was the Greek life. So the Greek life was gone because they had been kicked off campus for whatever. All of them until my junior year. Then you had lines of 60 plus people because they had been gone. So I didn't get to see a lot of, stepping and stuff until junior year. But like I was there, this Freaknik thing they got coming out on Hulu, the Jermaine Dupri is doing. I got to go to Freaknik. I'm embarrassed though because I
was in the church house, honey. I was in the church house. I'm chaste. Chaste. Don't play.
And the great thing about Clark is that Clark is right there by Morehouse. Morehouse is right there by Spelman and right there by Morris Brown. So it's called the AUC, the Atlanta University Center. So not only are you going to a Black university, the other ones are in walking distance. So like
influencing all of the everything.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So like I would say the first year, I walked to Morehouse almost every damn day because I was like, so I had all these problems trying to find a prom date in high school, and now there is Black men, tall ones, short ones, dreads, locks, bald. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just
Look, Gary Dordan looking was with the blue eyes, honey. You got your red bones. Don't play.
Dark skin, red bone, from the Caribbean, from New York, from Oklahoma. Like, listen. I had never seen so many Black men in one place. And look, and they educated. They there to go to school. They breaking generational.
They know some things.
Yes, they
left and right breaking them.
I'm majoring in engineering.
Ooh.
What?
Oh, wait a minute. I think I might need to relocate. Hold on.
I'm just saying that was part.
Hold on.
That was part of my experience.
Ooh.
We didn't have like the place that where they all went to eat on A Different World, but there was a place on our campus where we went and got wings and burgers and stuff like that we congregated at as well. So a lot of it was very, very accurate. Very accurate. It was very black. It was all my teachers were black. Like it was a fair representation. It really was.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I feel really. I will never take for granted my collegiate experience ever, because it was tailored for me. I don't have no regrets about it at all. If I did wallow in the realm of regret ever, though, I really wish that I would have known or been able to understand the importance of getting an education from a Black-centered university or college. I just wish I would have known how that could have affected me in this particular game.
Yeah.
Because mind you, I was going to always be this intelligent and this open and this communicative and this empathic. That's just who I am. That's just who I am. But being able to sort of like make sure in all cases, because I can't say that all the time. I can't say that in all cases, my goodness, my ethics are always Black centered. I can't always say that. I feel like because I'm able to, because we're all able to assign ourselves so many different labels, you have to, it's like a kaleidoscope. You have to look through the light through different light. Just which sort of kind of goes into what I really want to talk to you about, because I feel like with the forum that you have, being Black, being a woman, it's just who you are. It's not the flavor of the month. It's not this commodifiable thing for you that you're trying to express and give to folks. It's just who you are.
Yep.
But I feel like sometimes people will take advantage of your Blackness and your womanhood, especially in these forums. And I know that, and I guess we can talk about it because I have participated. There is something that I feel like is sort of becoming more rampant in the way, and then we're gonna go to a break real quick, because I know we need to do that, because that's how I do it. We're gonna go to commercial. She's like, what are you talking about? She's like, what are you talking about?
Let me just put this little piece in, because we talked about different world, and I don't want to bring it back up. But can you believe I got to interview Dawn Lewis and have her sing the theme song with me in the park? So what an amazing moment that was for me, because when you asked me, I forgot to include her. But I have to sing the clip.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And I think I told you, I don't know if I told you, but my mama don't like Dawn Lewis. She don't like her.
She doesn't.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I tell my friends all the time. I think it's because she just like, I don't think she's a good actress.
Oh.
I know. And I'm like,
well,
what does she do? Like, what role?
Or subjective. That's what you try to tell. That's why I was like, the last live stream, I said, we're going to have to reboot, because I'm not a blogger. And I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying, refereeing people's opinions, because that's really not what I'm online for. I'm online to connect.
And that is exactly what I wanted to ask. That's what I was getting at. I feel like, gosh, girl, you better work the interview, Quencie. Anyway, you do this. You do something very gracious on Whitney Wednesdays, which if you guys don't know, please go to YouTube. Please go on Facebook. Use Google. Use Mother Google and type in these words: Quencie Thomas, Whitney Wednesday. Then go do it. Become a part of it. It's the bee's knees. But one of the things that I've noticed that you have begun to do, or that you do, is you have a live streaming event during these things where you talk to some of us, and if you are able and are willing to sort of join in the camaraderie of that event, we shoot the shit. We hang out. We hanging out with Mr. Cooper. On TGIF. We doing our thing. I guess what happens though is that sometimes there is a little bit of refereeing that you have to do. There is a little bit of I don't want to say coaching, but there's a little bit of buffering that you have to do, because you are attempting and doing it very well, I might add.
Thank you.
You are engaging with people as live as possible via video and audio, but you're also engaging with people who are leaving comments. And I know that some of the most opinionated people dwell in those comments. So and I'm not going to talk about nothing too recently. Shout out to Monique because she had to get homeboy together.
She did.
Okay,
I still don't know what he.
shout out. She did. Nobody know. He knows. Boy, nobody knows, but she knows.
She know.
And that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
What? How do you get away with it? What kind of graces? What is your psychology like, honestly, when doing this event? That's really all I'm asking, because you have to be social, but you have to be. There are some standards. There are some terms. You're not going to talk to me or my people any kind of way. We're not going to talk about things that aren't up for quote discussion end quote. So how do you find the time really to gain energy weekly, I might add, to do that?
For noticing.
I might add.
Thank you for noticing.
I do.
Because sometimes I think people don't think that it does require a certain level of energy and, you know, desire and everything to expend.
It's like a marriage. It's like a marriage. Whitney Wednesdays is always, no, for real. Whitney Wednesdays is always going to give you at least 50%. Somebody's going to show up. There's always going to be something that you can do. There's always, and it's not about that because you've already made that clear. But you don't always have to be 50% in your life. So how do you get to up to at least that 50%?
Well, you know, I really do. I think it comes from a very authentic place of really loving Whitney. And it's easy for me to referee because the title of the page, For the Love of Whitney, is really why I'm there. You know what I mean? I haven't been able to monetize. I haven't monetized anything with, like, you know, I sent out them DVDs, but I'm sending it to Russia. You gonna pay me for postage? Yeah, I haven't. Not at this point. Not at this point. That's why I'm starting. Also, real quick, shout out to having. I'm sorry. What did you say? Say that again. Say that again. No, that's why I'm starting my Patreon, because you know what I mean. Like all this takes work, energy. I pay for StreamYard just like you pay for Riverside. You know. Oh God. I enjoy it, but it doesn't make it any less of a job. You get what I'm saying? Even though, but like the refereeing part, and keeping everybody, or the 50% that you say that I must show up with for myself comes from loving Whitney. And part of my brand is not just being a Whitney fan, it's actually loving her. And not just because of her music, but because of what you said that you saw in that interview. Who she is as a person. Because, you know, you can meet a lot of people who do things very well and they're assholes, you know. Yeah, famous or not, you know, right? Hey, got some of them in my phone. If you want to talk about it. That's what I'm saying. So the fact that, you know, and I think it's a really great thing that I've been able to experience because, you know, Whitney is a human. So I didn't have to experience wonderfulness every single time that I met her. She was going through all kinds of things. But my experience every time I met her was great. She always remembered me. She always showed love. And that also added to me being a fan. You get what I'm saying? Because if it would have been horrible, I probably would have still loved her music, but maybe I wouldn't have been feeling that way about her. So they say don't meet your hero sometimes. Yeah, exactly. So it's the actual real love that I've had from her. And anybody who knows me, they know that goes way back when. And so it's easy to referee if you up here trying to be like just super divisive. That's not what we're here for. And I welcome opinions because Whitney's human and all that, but like we only gonna go so far because this actually is for the love of Whitney. And so if you ain't, if we not going back to talk about the love, then we not going back. You know, we're gonna have to say goodbye. Bid you adieu. We're gonna take a break real quick, but when we come back, we're gonna fill them in for the government. We'll be right back, y'all. You are watching All About Lumberjack Tea. My very first introductory guest, is Quencie Thomas. We'll be right back. So over the summer of 2023, I was able to record an EP, which has taken me about 5 or 6 years to, get the confidence to release. But I've decided to do so. I released it
August 19th called How to Become a Black Gay Superhero. And here's one of the songs from it. It's called I Really Wanna Negosi, featuring The Universe, which is comprised of my sister Aubrey Lynn McCurdy, Colette Birch, and Hannah Hilliard. Check it out.
Being a man, oh, I want a nigga that'll give me the works, raise it up and flip it down like a queen and jerk. I want a brother that'll give me what I want and what I need at every turn. And when we're through, and when the loving is through, we go straight to round two for you. I'm gone, we get nasty and love loves me. The big OD, the infinity. The touch is electricity. You got me stupid, dumb and all. And with that freaking nastiness, you better believe his heart's the best. Integrity, autonomy, the soul of power, God is my baby. I really want a nigga that'll take me higher. I really want a nigga that is full of fire. I really want a nigga that is on my team. I really want a nigga that keeps clean. Yeah. I really want a nigga who knows all my spots. I really want a nigga that'll keep it high. I really want a nigga who wants all my love. I really want a nigga from the heavens above. Come on. Yeah. I'll wash dishes off for my man. Bring soft and bitches for my man. I'll take that dinner out for my man. Defrost the chicken for my man. I'll play the damn video game for my man. All night if I have to for my man. I'll fuck somebody up for my man. I'll give him that. Hey, ooh, oh, oh.
Hi, this is Maxim Lupin, but you can just call me Max, and I'm a sexual edutainment content creator, and you're listening to All About Lumberjack Tea, now playing on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm not I'm not doing 10 of these with 10 other people. Trust. So you got me.
Hey. It ain't really worth all of that. Let me tell you something. I listen to I'm Facebook friends with a woman by the name of Asia Graydon Dancer. She's half of Kindred in the Family Soul.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I got her listening to my EP, and she about to tell me what she think of it before I release it to the children. Yeah, girl. We'll see how it go. We'll see how it go. Okay. But I digress. Anyway, I listen to their podcast. She does one with Jill Scott and another beautiful Black woman. And I can tell that they have agents. They got things that they do, and they in the industry. They are doing things. And I know that they, with the way that it's produced, they have time to just speak while everybody else does all the editing, all the sound work, all of the video work. Everybody else does it. You are doing it all. Is that correct?
Yep.
All of it. Everything that we are seeing visually from your forums are done solely by you as a singular entity.
Mm-hmm. Like you saying every week, and then you see clips, and you see this, and you see that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Because I download the live streams.
I would.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I know how to edit.
And what I'm getting at is that I don't want there to be any implication that I don't think that because of who and what you are that you can't. What I'm implying, hopefully, is that it seems as if you have a team. It seems as if you have a team of people. That's why when I just see you, sometimes I think to myself, this woman, she can't be doing all this by herself. She got an ego problem. Like she's making it seem as if all of this. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, there's no way.
What?
Ain't no way.
Well, when I was in LA, I had somebody filming me, but editing, preparing for the interview, like all that stuff, that is me.
Anybody can set up a camera. I don't mean no harm. Anybody can set. Sorry to your friend, Keke Palmer. No. Sorry to that man. But anybody can set up a camera. But your eye, you are staying current. You are your color palettes invoke a specific subconscious narrative. I check that. I'm the type of person that checks that because I'm of the culture. I'm a millennial Generation X hybrid. So all I do is look at how all of these things affect us as symbology. That's all I notice. That's all I notice. And you have earned the right for me to say to you that I know that other people are doing their thing with Whitney. I know that other people are doing their thing with Whitney.
Yeah.
I know that other people are doing their thing, but you are the source for any kind of snippet. There are things that I'm learning about her, for example, that I would not have known had it not been for your brand. Whitney Houston ain't doing it, okay? The government, okay.
The government. Yo, were we the only two that got it? Because when I tell you,
you know what?
I was on the floor. Like, I'm literally going to make a video tomorrow because it's Sunday because of you. That, and then you have to know, post it and tag me. You know some nerve. Can't you tell that I was laughing so hard? The camera was shaking. Cause you know, every time I watch that, I was like, he's serious about the giving. But it's nothing I ever shared with anybody, but always noticed.
Is that right? Okay, noted. So if y'all don't know by now, years ago, Quencie Houston graced us with both of her children singing the song "Wonderful Counselor" at the 80 some odd Grammys. I don't know.
American Music
4 or 5,
Awards.
child. American Music Awards. Whitney sang "Down"
and did.
Okay, Sissy did her thing "Down"
and did.
And John, let me just say something.
No, you didn't call him
as a vocalist. What's the man's name?
Gary.
Look, I'm in it now. Ooh, that's ooh. Sorry, John. Whoops. Anyway, sorry to that man, Gary.
Oh my God.
Because John didn't have nothing to do with that.
No, he didn't.
Gary. See, as a vocalist, there are things that you can do with sound that makes it seem as if you're doing things with your mouth, but you only do them in your throat. Whitney Houston could do them in her throat. She was the voice. She had a set of vocal cords that was able to. Anyway, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to get emotional because when I start talking about her voice, that's when I start to get emotional. But Gary is he's a really great singer too. He's a really great singer, an amazing vocalist. But he can't do that stuff in his throat. So what you'll notice on that snippet is he's doing a lot of things with his lips. Okay? And so we were talking about something. Us on Whitney Wednesdays, we was talking about something, child. And this fine young man, should I say that? Because Darius was fine.
Darius. Oh, yes, with that beautiful mane, all that hair he had. Oh my gosh.
I hope he don't watch this. It's okay if you watch it. I don't care. But anyway, we was step one of the homegirls, step by step, day by day, asked Darius if he was going to, because you guys are going to go honor Whitney this August, which we will talk about. This August for her 60th heavenly birthday. Yeah. I cannot believe she would be 60 years old.
Wouldn't that be awesome to see? Whitney.
It would be the bee's knees. I would love to be in that reality where Whitney is still alive. Yeah. That would be cute.
Yeah.
That would be real cute. But anyway. And Darius, before Darius could answer, with his fine ass.
Beautiful.
What's her name? Is her name Maya?
Okay, yeah,
Maya was like, no, he's not coming. He didn't make the spot. He didn't make the spot. He didn't pay his tithes. And then, built by creatives, Ty ass, he start talking. And then Steph start talking. And somebody said something about the government. And I just, the Spirit of the Lord came upon me. And I saw Gary's lips doing, and the government shall be upon his show. And I said that, and the next thing I see is you leap from that chair, and I didn't see you for like 5 seconds. And step by step is trying to get everybody's attention. Ty's still just talking, child. Just talking. Okay? He's still just going off. He's still just going off. And you the whole time talking about, did y'all catch that? Did y'all see what he was talking about?
I don't think they had a clue.
Only the girls know. I want to say this to you though. I do humor intentionally. I do humor. One of my mentors comically is Paul Mooney.
Wow.
He is a genius. Mm-hmm. He is the godfather of comedy. And what he does is he says things to see where people's minds are. I know that we shouldn't test people that way, but he would say stuff to see where people are, see where your realm of offense lies. And so when first of all, I said that because I wanted to be funny. I'm gonna break it down. I said that because I wanted to be funny, but I wanted you, for example, you subconsciously as the host to know that it's about Whitney. I wanted you, me personally, with me saying that, I wanted, humor is like a social currency, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
You buy into people's brands in so many different ways. You can Patreon them, you can help them with editing, or you can add to the comedy, or you can add to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a person who knows how to do that. A person like Paul Mooney, a person like George Carlin, people like those men, a person like Monique. They know exactly what to say to get the response that they want out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that because number one, I did that because I wanted people to laugh, but I wanted people to also understand that this forum needs to be about what it's about.
Yeah.
And that's why, and I hate, and the Scorpio me, it has to always make disclaimers, but I'm just saying that that's the reason why I asked you earlier about how you see buffering in this kind of social medium. Because sometimes people do things just to be seen. Some people are dealing with levels of narcissism where the only kind of narcissistic supply that they can get are from people responding to them just by simply expressing emotions to them. And that's not wrong or right, because that's just a personality type.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that you see stuff like that. I don't know how you are affected by it, but I know that you see stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How does that affect how you make your media? How does narcissism and toxicity affect how you make your media?
Wow, that's a really good
work, T. You better work.
You better work with that question. You better work with that question.
I'm just saying, girl. I'm trying to get to NPR, girl. We'll see.
Listen, can we take the word "try" out of that statement and say I'm getting to NPR?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, forget Tiny Desk. I'm just gonna host it.
Yes.
How about that? I'll be on there all the time.
Thank you. We gotta be strong in our vocabulary, and you are working thesaurus, so I don't even know why I would even have to offer you a word. But I would say, because I haven't been live, but consistently, probably for the last 2 years and weekly for the last 6 months, I haven't had to deal with that of which you say, like the toxicity or these different kind of personality. But initially, my reaction is to check you lightly, because I'm not here to fight. I'm here to share, connect.
We're not here to fight.
Laugh.
Right.
I'm here to laugh. I'm really here to laugh. I'm really here to connect.
AF.
Yes.
AF.
Yes.
We gonna kiki.
Yes.
Oh God.
So that's why I would say stuff like calling Ty Kirk Franklin, because I recognize that you got a voice and that you want to say some things, but I'm gonna need you to get you a whole podcast to do it. Okay. You don't come over here and regulate me. You go ahead and build your thing and invite me over to your space. And he's not the only one. I'm just using him because I've said that so many times. And I recognize that, and I'm very generous. You know what I'm saying? I share my space.
You are.
I share my mind.
Yes, you are.
You know what I mean?
Time.
My time, because that's what you can't get back. But just like I said recently on the last live I did, I said, I needed to reboot. I said, this is going to be going to Patreon. But even before then, I said, I'm not for everyone, and I'm not trying to be for everyone. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not trying to.
I see.
Yeah. And so
I see what you mean now. It was when I heard you say that, I thought that you meant like recharge, but you're talking about like a reboot.
Yes, because my only goal was to be live, because I had hesitation and fear of just being live, being interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I come from all those interviews that I did in LA. It was from a depressed person. If you notice all the interviews, you don't see me in them. You just see the person.
Never see you.
So I would be on the red carpet and people would be like, who is Studio Q? Who do you work for Studio Q? And I'm like, no, I'm the Q. But I was hiding because I was depressed. And the only thing I could do is muster up enough of Quencie to interact and interview these celebs. But you didn't hear my voice. So I would put black screen and put the question in white letters, and then
I've seen that.
And then you hear them. And sometimes you wouldn't even. I would think my arm was too fat. You wouldn't even see my arm. You just see the mic flag. So me being live in the way that you see me, none of you guys know where I've come from to get back there. Now, I wasn't always depressed. I was always what you see now, but I went through a period of deep depression because when I went out to LA to chase my dreams and I'm working for all these shows, I'm like, if I'm working 60 hours a week for your show, how am I ever going to get to me? How am I ever going to get to my dream if I'm working every single day of the week for you? So I didn't know how, when I detached from that and started my own thing, it was just depressing because I didn't know how to make it work. You know, I was doing the work, but it's like, how do you find the funding? It was just too much, but I still was doing the work even in depression, but I didn't want to be seen. So me being seen right now was my only goal, to go live, talk about me, connect with others. This is all brand new, 2023. And I've come from
apparently my next question.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, girl.
Mm-hmm.
How? What did you do? What did you do?
One little step at a time. One little step at a time. Being scared and still doing it anyway. Being reluctant, but talking myself to do it anyway. And one step over another step, you get stronger, you get more confident, you get everything. And
you get support. You get true and genuine support, which is just free energy.
Yep.
Oh,
but you got to get over yourself to connect to get it though.
Mm-hmm.
And so
were you, so I'm talking to my therapist, shout out to Black Health, shout out to Black mental health, child.
Yes.
It matters. It materializes your life.
Seriously, mental health is everything.
How did you, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into you, like how you personally tackled it, but what general themes allowed you to take it one step at a time? Because first of all, honey, you are gorgeous.
Oh,
absolutely gorgeous, niece.
Yay,
know that.
Oh, appreciate that love.
And I remember, I just love this right now because I remember one of our elders in Hollywood passed away, and you made a repost, a fairer skinned Black actor. He was a fairer skinned Black actor who passed away that you just recently reposted.
John Beasley.
I think he was on
John Beasley.
John Beasley. I one of the things that I noticed was that there was a theme where I wasn't seeing you, and so I just thought that it was like a theme of sort of like vignette based.
No, I went back and added my voice.
That you were doing.
No, I went back and added my voice underneath. But that, first of all,
so even that sort of chronicling your progress.
Yep. Because I was like, I'm not going to just have this on the black screen. He passed away. So I re-edited it and put my voice underneath so that recently, when I posted it, that's the first time I ever did that. So that was incredible. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I didn't want you to hear my voice. I didn't want you to see my hand. I was just.
Girl, that gave me goosebumps.
Really?
You did that. I see I'm just seeing what you mean. I just see what you mean. It's always a journey.
It's a journey.
Loving yourself is the goal.
Come on.
And loving yourself means a journey. It's a progress. But you got to start seeing some progress. Anyway, it's getting to the certain part of our day where, based on my location, the people of God are gathering around and taking the bandwidth.
I know. So it's like you didn't pause a couple times.
But here's what I want to do. At the end of all of my podcasts, I like to give my guests the floor. Before I do that, so that means anything that is on your mind, anything that you want to end this particular event with, I would love to give you the floor. But before we do that, and while I still got these gigabytes streaming, where can people find you on Oprah Winfrey's and Beyonce's shared custody internet?
Listen, you can find me everywhere at Studio QTV, at For the Love of Whitney on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at Quencie. So QUENCIE, you put that in, it should come up. For the Love of Whitney, you put that in, it should come up. Studio QTV,
real quick,
it should come up.
Your mama and daddy, whoever named you Quencie, but I would bet, because you are from a Black household, that was not initially the name that they were going to name you. My name is Hosea Terrard DeMarcus Robinson, but somebody was going to end up calling me Esteban had not the Spirit of the Lord came and Esteban, girl, had not the Spirit of the Lord came and done something in my mama and my daddy's head. Is there another name that you might have been named?
Well, listen, I was supposed to, sonograms had just come out, and I was supposed to be a boy, and my mom, I guess,
got it.
Listen, maybe my pronouns are he and them and they, because I was supposed to be a boy, and she watched this TV show. I can't even claim Quincy Jones, but she watched this white TV show called Dr. Quincy with the guy from
Dr. Quincy.
Yeah, that's where she got my name, and when she
My people old too, girl. So I know all
okay,
of Nick
good.
and Night.
So she watched
Green Acres, girl.
She watched Dr. Quincy throughout her whole pregnancy. That was going to be my name. And when I became a girl, she just changed the spelling. Very Black.
What? Blackity, black. Shout out to Spike Lee. Anyway, before we get out of here, before the government. I gotta stop. Okay. Before the government, and I'm trying to hold it as long as I can. What do you want us to? What you want to leave us with, sis? First of all, let me just say, and I'm gonna say this again. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. It is a Sunday, and it is summer, and you are inside talking with me. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving me your time. It is not taken for granted. There has been so much love that I have felt through this particular encounter that I'm going to have to go outside and ground myself and get some sun and just pinch myself and recognize that this shit was actually true. I have been able to talk to somebody that I admire. And for that, I just wanted to say thank you, sis.
Listen, I'm honored.
Do you remember in the Wiz where Nipsey, the Tin Man, he go a teeny. You did something the other day, and when you did that, I straight up thought of Nipsey. I was like, oh, she is crazy. Wait, Paul Mooney say it's the Jesse Jackson. I'm through.
Oh my goodness!
This has been an honor. Please take the floor before I say something else. What you want to leave us with?
Well, it is an absolute honor to have come in contact with your energy. You're somebody where in the comments from the jump, I remembered you. Your energy came through your words. Okay, before I even met you. So I appreciate just being able to connect with you, and honored that you would want to spend time with me to ask about me and give me so much love and roses and flowers. Like, I don't take that for granted. Okay, and don't. So listen, me having the floor is just saying I'm just here to create more Black excellence in terms of interviewing, but also to connect. Like, my only goal of 2023 was to connect, share my stories, and learn about other people and transform whatever strangers I came into contact with into a community, that we could uplift one another. And I didn't know the subject of Whitney would be the beacon for that. But hey, I'm honored that it can be. And also, by me piggybacking off of that and doing my Studio Q show on Thursday, I'm able to highlight the things that I've done in a way that I've never been able to do. Because like I said, I struggled with depression when I was creating the content. So even now, in the way that I'm presenting it, is brand new because you know it's me. You're not asking who, you're no longer asking who Q is. You know that that's Quencie.
The God in you makes things new. The God in you makes things new. That's what God does. That's what God does. Oh, I'm gonna flip it back to the spirit.
Come on.
Every single time.
I love that.
You did the work. And so again, that's one of the reasons why I really do find, after work, Whitney Wednesdays on Wednesdays is something that I know I'm gonna be able to literally on an energetic physiological level get my life from.
Wow.
This world takes away something from you if you let it.
Yes.
And sometimes we have to let it in order to survive in it. But then your community building. I'm gonna leave you with this. M. Scott Peck, he's a Christian psychologist. He gave a very cogent definition for the term love. Love is the will to extend yourself, capital self, for the purpose of someone else's growth, regardless of if it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial. That's love. That's Quencie. That's your brand. Thank you, girl.
Thank you, Lumberjack.
Hey, embalm me because I am dead and gone.
Listen, I'm going to be cremated, so light me up because this was lit.
She said, sprinkle me, but timer, hey, 40 water, hey, sprinkle me, back. She said, put me in the wind, niece. Do you remember that show? It wasn't called Dozens or Jokes or Crafts. Monique was the first person on TV to do that breast milk joke
with the baby soda.
Girl, let me get up off of here.
Breast milk. Oh my gosh. Yes. It was funny. I remember.